Hey guys, I hope you're doing alright and welcome back to the channel. It's been a little bit since I've made a video, but not a lot has changed, honestly. I'm still meat-based carnivore. I would say 95% of my diet is carnivore. Still kind of steady on the same weight, right around 200. I'm not stressing about losing right now because it is holiday time now for the next couple months, so I do allow for a little bit of extra things here and there on a minimum, but they're like keto versions of stuff. So I would say around the holidays I'm probably more ketovore or even closer to keto, but not really like every meal, just like for special meals or so like Thanksgiving. I'll show you some. I already got some stuff for that. It's just me and my husband, so I'll get a boneless turkey breast and I'll put it in the crock pot with the onion soup mix, and that's all you have to do for it. It's easy. And it's boneless, so I just throw the whole thing in there and I don't have to worry about removing it from the bones or any of that thing. It's like 3 pounds, so we just usually get a couple meals out of it at least. And then there are some things that we'll make with it, like we get the bird's eye cauliflower mash that he usually eats with his steaks and stuff. We'll use that for like mash. And then if I want to make something else with it, I can make a keto dessert, or there's like a corn souffle that they have that we used to make before we were keto, like 8 years ago, that since I have to do gluten-free now, they do make gluten-free cornbread mixes, which is part of it. So I may end up making that. I did it with a gluten-free version last year, and it was really good. It tasted just like the regular version. So I'm going to show you what we got today. All right, so I needed a little bitty broom because we actually got a little holder a while back that I put the cat's litter box in. I like that it covers it up. I need to sweep. If you have cats, you know you always need to sweep with the litter everywhere like confetti. So I need this little thing to help clean out the inside. It's easier to do it with something like that than trying to get in there with a big broom. And then I got their cat food. And this is the turkey breast that I'm talking about. Depending on your store, they're anywhere from $4 or $5 a pound to $15, $20 per. This one was like $14.99. They had 2 seasoned ones already, savory herb, and then they had like a I want to say chipotle, but it was like a spicier thing. And I'm like, I don't want that. I can't do spicy. So I figured mixing the savory herb with my onion soup mix is not going to be a big deal. So here's you don't have to get a fancy brand. I just put 1 packet of onion mix in there, which technically this is the one that makes soup or dips or whatever. So, and then the cauliflower mash, which we get the plain because it's only 6 carbs per serving. And then we'll mix in like sour cream and some seasonings and stuff. And this is my peanut butter protein cookies that I still make, and I'll eat like one of those every day. That's probably when I'm not eating special stuff for seasonal. That's like the only thing I have most days that's not only meat-based. So, but it is the meat-based, the meat protein powder, which is the prime protein. All that is beef protein powder, peanut butter, some sweetener, and some Lily's chocolate chips. That's all that's in there, really. And they're freaking amazing. I love them. My husband loves them. I got some sweetener. My husband eats yogurt and some deviled eggs every morning for breakfast. Pickles for hubby, because I'm not a pickle gal. The litter deodorizer powder, we use that. Works pretty good. And then baking soda actually come in this neat little shaker. And it says refillable. I use this every week when I boil eggs. I put baking soda in the water. It actually helps a lot with peeling. And then my creamer, I tried to do dairy again for a while, and it always gives me an issue. So I just go back to the plain nut pods. That's the other thing I do daily that is not meat-based. Because it's almond milk and coconut milk. But there's nothing else in it. There's no carbs. And it's just the best way for me to have my coffee without a ton of carbs and a ton of calories. And it's, was it like 100 calories for how much I have at a time? And then I use this for water. along with like my electrolyte powder. This is my electrolyte powder that I get from Amazon. They actually are out of the black cherry right now. I had to order a different flavor. So while that comes in, because I've only got a couple servings left, I do like this Ghost hydration packets. It's really good. Tastes like red fruit punch. But I try to stay away from that stuff because it's got all the dyes and everything in it. But it's just kind of, for right now, since I don't have any electrolytes left, or I didn't think I was going to have any left. So I am going to make beef stew in the crock pot tomorrow. And if you have a crock pot, and I use my crock pot weekly, crock pot or slow cooker liners are your savior. Trust me. There's occasional where you might poke through stirring or whatever, but it's so easy to clean up your crock pot. Nothing gets baked to it. When I make my ranch chicken every week for lunch, all I do is I take the bag and I dump it out into a glass container for my storage, throw the bag away, and you barely have to do anything to clean it out. So it's great. I love it. Butter. And then for the beef stew, I love this brand of Zoop bone broth. It's basically about the same price or maybe a smidge more than like the regular stuff at the store when you try to find bone broth. But this one is literally bone broth. Natural flavor, yeast extract, sea salt. But if you look at the other bone broths at the grocery store, they all kinds of other crap in there. And that's very clean. Tastes good. Love it. So I'll use that. 2 cans of tomatoes. So this one's definitely going to be keto because of all the veg in it. 2 cans of petite diced tomatoes because we don't like big chunky tomatoes. I got some Swiffer pads, eggs, cinnamon coffee for my hub, ground turkey crumbles, which I like to make with omelets, and then he uses lunch meat for during the day at work for lunch. So we use the bone broth, the tomatoes, and then we always replace potatoes with radishes because they're way less carb, and when they cook down, they taste just like potatoes. Food City has a thing where you pick 5 of certain selection of stuff, and it's $7.99. So basically, you end up getting one of these things for free. Same thing with a selection of their meats. So they have pick 5 for $19.99 on the meats, and pick 5 for $7.99 on some of the veg. So we always get radishes. And since I have to buy 5 to get the deal, I'm getting the extra stuff for free, basically. I just get the pack of the red onions. The celery, I only end up using a couple stalks of celery. And then my husband works at a farm store, so he can take the rest with him, and they'll feed it to like the rabbits or something. And then the baby carrots, which I know are not the best way to get carrots. Don't roast me in the comments, but I don't use but maybe half the bag. So by the time we end up making a serving or make the whole pot, we end up with a few per serving. So same thing with that. If we don't eat them all, which we don't normally, he can take them to work. And then the green pepper is not for the beef stew. I do like to put green pepper in when I make an omelet. Green pepper and onion. So this was my 5 things for $7.99, which you can't beat that, honestly. And then today in the meats, I always like their markdown section. So I got my husband 2 New York strip steaks for $12.96. And then on the pick 5 for $19.99, I needed 1 more pack of stew beef meat. So I always get the lean beef stew. Last time I made it, like we first got a cold snap a few weeks back or a month ago. And man, by the time this stuff finished cooking, it was like dissolved to broken up pieces. It was actually like fall apart. It was amazing. So I got 1 pack of lean stew beef meat. I got 2 packs of ground beef patties. And I figured I'd try something new for hubs in the air fryer. I got 2 packs of boneless pork chops. So I'm like, hey, maybe I'll season the pork chops, try those in the air fryer, because I'm constantly cooking the burgers and the steaks in the air fryer. And he likes pork. I'm not a big pork fan. Sometimes we'll get pork loin. But that's today's haul for, I think it was like $194. And the only reason it was that much is because I bought the turkey breast, which was $15. Bought the little broom thing, and then the onion soup mix. And then honestly, the extra stuff to buy the beef stew. So I probably bought an extra $30 or $35 worth of stuff, or more, probably $40 worth of stuff that I wouldn't have normally bought. And I might would have swapped that out with some meat, but technically it's a low week before adding that extra stuff in there. So normally that's about average what we spend anyway, is around $200 a week. So I know I wanted to do an update video. Let me turn this around. I just wanted to do an update video. I know my food hauls are basically the same thing all the time, but honestly, that's the best way to stay consistent, is constantly get the same thing. And if you're one of those people who says, oh, I can't stand eating the same thing all the time, blah, 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 the best way to do that is you buy the same base meat, make yourself a couple different recipes, do a food prep day, do a food prep afternoon. It doesn't take that long to food prep. I do most of my stuff on Sundays. Break it up into a couple different things. Or do your base meat, cook your ground beef. Just like I'll do this sometimes. I'll take the ground beef and I'll pre-cook ground beef into crumbles. And then one night I'll use the egg white noodles, which I love the egg white noodles because you can add anything to it. It's just egg white. It's amazing. It tastes just like noodles. One day I'll add egg white noodles and a little bit of marinara to it, and I'll have spaghetti. Or one day I'll add some seasonings to it with mustard and ketchup, and I'll have a burger bowl. And then another day I can add some taco seasonings to it, and I can have a taco bowl with like cheese and sour cream. So, I mean, that's the best way to do it, honestly, if you want to have variety. But I've been more carnivore meat based for a little over a year now. And I literally had burger patties every single night for dinner, with the exception of once or twice every couple weeks, for literally 90% of this whole last year. So I got to the point where I finally got to where I was kind of sick of burger patties. So that's when I started doing the stuff with the ground beef. And if you follow me on Instagram, my profile is below, linked below. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I will post occasionally different kinds of foods and stuff. It's not hard. It's definitely a lot easier if you're just buying the same stuff and making yourself a routine where you eat the same thing. Like, I don't mind eating the same thing every day, but after doing it for almost a year for the dinner, for the burger patties, it got a little bit old, but I'm doing good. After the holidays are over, our daughter is supposed to come visit us for Christmas. I think the last update on her was her and her boyfriend were going to move down after she graduated, but then her and her boyfriend kind of moved in temporarily with each other at his dad's house, and they got that whole you don't know anybody until you live with somebody thing going on. And she was like, this ain't working, because they were really good friends for years and it just didn't work. So she ended up moving in with a girlfriend of hers, and then found somebody else like immediately. It's like, girl, spend some time by yourself, you know? So that kind of was unexpected, and she ended up staying up there for now. So unless something happens with her and that guy, she's probably not going to move down. If she does, it'll be a while. But she's going to be visiting around Christmas time for a few days. So she'll be here for that. Then we'll get to see her. It's been almost a year. It was last Christmas when she was here. But she was here with her boyfriend at the time, so we didn't feel like we got as much of that time together as we would like. So she's only going to be here for like 2 days. It takes a day to drive down. She'll be here for 2 days, and it'll take a day to drive back, because it's like an 8-hour trip from here to where she's at in Michigan. So she's going to be here for a couple days and like 3 nights. And it's just going to be her this time. So we'll have plenty of time for me and my husband to hang out and go do some stuff with her and everything. So that'll be cool. But after the holidays, which is where I was going before I got sidetracked, I'm going to do a cut again and try to leave her alone, dude. The cats, man. I'm going to do a cut and see if I can get down to where I was at with the my lowest point when I did keto. I lost over 100 pounds, almost 110 pounds. I got down to 191. So right now I'm hovering around 200. which I'm okay with that. I still track 90% of the time, but a lot of times I don't track every day when I'm eating the same things. Like, I know if I eat my 2 eggs and my 2 sausage patties and my ranch chicken and my burger patties and like the same thing that I eat every single day, I don't necessarily have to log it every day. I know how much that's going to be if it's the same stuff every day. And then that's the other thing that I will meal prep. I boil the eggs on Sundays. I will make those cookies because I'll have 1 or 2 of those every day, every other day. And then I will meal prep if I'm doing the ranch chicken. And then I buy the sausage patties from the grocery store and I'll meal prep those for me for the week. So the only thing I consistently have to make every couple of days is whatever we're doing for dinner. And when I do that, I use the air fryer and I make his steaks, my burgers, or I do my ground beef on the stove, whatever. And it's several days worth at a time. So you're not constantly cooking either. So, but there's an update for you guys. It's a couple weeks before Thanksgiving, so we'll see how the weather is right now. It got really cold early for a little bit, and now we're kind of above normal for a little bit here in Knoxville, but we'll see. We actually had snow. Was it this Monday? I can't remember if it was this Monday. I think it was last week. I don't know. One day within the past week, I think it was this Monday, we had snow. And if it hadn't have been so windy, we would have had some severe like accumulation. But it was so windy, all it did was kind of blow around and blow off everywhere, and it was crazy. I think that's the earliest we've been here. We've been here 10 years in February. The earliest that we've seen snow with any amount to it. So, but that's my update grocery haul for mid-November 2025. I may do another one around December. But like I said, everything's pretty much the same. And then for Christmas, I basically will do like the same type of stuff for the meals as I do for Thanksgiving. Except our daughter's going to be here after Christmas. So she may not be here for that. But there's certain stuff she likes me to make for her when she's here. I make this chicken broccoli ranch thing that she absolutely loves. It's a keto recipe I found years ago. It's like her favorite thing. It's chicken breast, heavy cream, broccoli, cheese. I can't remember what else in that, ranch seasoning, but it's really good. But she loves that. So I have to make that for her every time she's here. She always asks for it. So, but I will see you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Bye.